You arrive in ancient Babylon on a hot, muggy day. The air is thick, as if each breath you take is slower than normal, with a faint taste of dust and spices mixed in the background. The city's massive walls loom before you, imposing, like silent guardians of ancient secrets. As you walk through the streets, the sound of your footsteps echoes off the stones, and the smell of the market mingles with the scent of palm trees. You can hardly believe that you are in one of the most ancient and mysterious places in the world, but for a moment, everything around you seems frozen in time. And it is here, in Babylon, that one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world is mentioned: the Hanging Gardens, a place that may never have existed, but whose beauty still makes the air feel softer, just thinking about it. You look around, as if expecting to see the gardens sprouting from the rocks, or perhaps falling gently from somewhere far away. But the only thing you can feel is the heat, the sun that seems to be more intense than usual, almost as if it were there to make it clear that, even in such a grand place, nature has its own rhythm. The Hanging Gardens, or at least what they are said to be, are a story that merges with the wind and sand. You may not see plants or lush flowers, but who needs them when the words about these wonders create such vivid images in your mind? Remember that you are here simply to observe, without rushing, without great expectations. This is your moment. The moment to slow down, breathe, and let your mind travel to a time where legend and reality intertwine, like an ancient tapestry, hard to distinguish but absolutely fascinating. Now, take a moment to appreciate the tranquility of being here. Let yourself be enveloped by the warmth of the city and the subtle sounds of the environment around you, as if everything around you is trying to speak in silence. The market is still buzzing with soft voices, and the scent of honey and tropical fruits drifts slowly into the air. But here you are, simply observing, breathing, and allowing yourself to relax. Imagine that the Hanging Gardens do not need to be in front of your eyes for you to feel them. As you continue your walk through Babylon, the city unfolds in layers, like an ancient book that begs to be slowly unfurled. The market is bustling with life, with vendors selling carpets, spices, and brightly colored fabrics. The sound of voices mixes with the murmur of the wind through the palm trees, but there is something else that catches your attention: the murmur of a story. You listen to a scribe sitting under a linen tent, telling the story of the Hanging Gardens. He speaks with a disconcerting calm, as if he were describing not a marvel, but something as natural as breathing. Imagine a mountain made of flowers, he says, pointing to the sky. Now imagine that mountain inside a palace. That is what Nebuchadnezzar, the great Babylonian king, made for his wife Amytis, because she missed her homeland, the green mountains and fields that were far away. The scribe nods with a satisfied smile, as if he were revealing something profound, but never giving any more precise details. He neglects to mention that many historians still debate whether this story is true or a glamorous invention. You continue your journey, but you can't help but think of the scribe's words. If you close your eyes for a moment, you can almost picture that palace. The stone walls are covered with vines and exotic flowers, and you can feel the coolness of the waters flowing through carefully carved canals, spreading a light breeze that carries the sweet scent of the plants. But soon the image fades as if the wind has carried it away. Because on some level, this could all be pure invention. The concept of hanging gardens is a fantasy, a visual metaphor that makes dreaming minds delirious with its grandeur. Yet the idea of a garden on high, defying gravity and the desert heat is a testament to human ambition. Even if the gardens didn't exist as described, the idea of planting something grand in a place where nothing should grow is still fascinating. Perhaps in the end, what matters is not the veracity of the story, but how it manages to calm your mind, relaxing it like a soft background melody. That thought of the non-existent garden transports you to a calm and safe place. Imagine that you are lying in a hammock under the trees, listening to the soft sound of the leaves swaying in the breeze. The heat no longer seems so intense now, and you realize that, try as you might, you cannot see the gardens, but you can feel their effect, the serenity, the calm, the beauty that they represent. Perhaps that is the true wonder, the feeling of relaxation and tranquility that comes with the idea that there is a place where nature flourishes in perfect balance, even against all odds. Now bring your attention to your breathing. Inhale deeply, feeling the fresh air enter, and exhale slowly, releasing any tension that has built up. As you imagine this garden, your body will begin to soften, as if each invisible leaf or flower is helping to dissolve any heaviness. There is no rush to go anywhere. Allow yourself to be in this relaxed state, where time slows down and tranquility becomes your companion. You continue walking through Babylon, now with a more leisurely pace, as if the city itself is inviting you to slow down. The heat is still there, but something has changed. The air seems less dense, easier to breathe. As you take a closer look at the buildings, you notice the grandeur of each structure, each stone placed with a precision that defies time. However, what really catches your attention is the simple fact that you have yet to find a clear trace of the Hanging Gardens. Perhaps they never existed. Perhaps, like some ancient stories, they were just another invention of someone trying to leave their mark on the world. As you walk along one of the city's side streets, you come across a group of elders sitting in a shady square, debating what may or may not be true about the garden's story. The topic makes for a relaxed conversation, but you realize that there is a great deal of division of opinion. Some believe that the gardens were real, but perhaps located in a completely different place than is often described. Others say that Nebuchadnezzar, the great Babylonian king, never intended to build grand gardens, but that the story was embellished by the Greeks later on. Historians still debate whether he really loved his wife, or whether this is just a good excuse to justify such a monumental work, one of the elders comments with a smile. As you listen to these debates, a part of you wonders, will we ever know the truth? The question of the Hanging Gardens, like so many other ancient legends, lies in the realm of uncertainty, a place where mystery and imagination flourish more than any concrete fact. And yet, you realize that perhaps that is what makes this story so relaxing. There is no need for a definitive answer. Somehow the idea of an impossible garden seems more peaceful when you simply allow it to dissolve like a cloud in the sky. You feel a lightness on your shoulders, a relief from the daily pressure, and you understand that for the Babylonians, and even the ancient Greeks, the value of the Hanging Gardens was not just in their physical existence, but in what they represented. They were a symbol of a universal human desire, the search for beauty, for something grand, for something that makes us feel more connected to the world around us. And even if that desire never materialized in a tangible way, it still resonates in your mind, in the gentle rhythm of your breathing. As you walk further, you begin to feel how the gardens, even if invisible, are becoming part of your own inner space. Each step you take becomes lighter, each breath deeper. It doesn't matter where the gardens are, in the past, in your imagination, or perhaps somewhere in between. What matters is the effect they have on you now. They help you find a place of peace, to allow your mind to settle down, without rushing to arrive at any final answer. After all, sometimes serenity comes from simply accepting the unknown. Now, like a leaf floating on a calm river, let yourself be carried away by the softness of this sensation. The heat of the day is no longer so intense. The sound of voices in the city has faded into the background, giving way to the gentle murmur of the wind. Breathe deeply, feeling your energy renew itself with each breath. Everything around you seems to come into harmony, as if nature and history have come together to create a calm and safe space for you. As the journey continues, the path through Babylon becomes smoother. The city, now seen from afar, appears to be less a stone construction and more an extension of the surrounding land, as if the walls and buildings had been shaped by nature itself, forming part of the great landscape of desert and endless sky. The landscape in a way welcomes you, as if the city and the desert were in perfect harmony. You begin to realize that, like the gardens that may never have existed, Babylon itself is a creation that blends imagination and reality, something that will never be fully understood, but is beautiful and mysterious in its own way. What strikes you most now is the lightness of the air. The heat seems to have softened, and the sounds of the city become increasingly distant. The murmur of people, the sounds of merchants, and the hustle and bustle of the market no longer matter. Instead, what prevails is the sensation of a silent space, with the light wind caressing your skin. You are walking through a place where time seems to not exist, where past and present blend together in an eternal dance of calm and serenity. You realize as you walk that the hanging gardens may not have to be real to have a profound impact on your mind and spirit. You can't see them, but you can feel their presence like an idea spreading through the city, through the streets of Babylon, and even within you. The beauty of the gardens, like the thoughts that arise and disappear, is something that dissolves in the stillness of the moment. There is no rush to understand or define. The answer to the riddle of the gardens is that there is no answer, and that somehow gives you comfort. Within the shadows of Babylon's great walls, you find a small space, a discreet square, where a fountain gushes crystal clear water. The sound of the flowing water is soft and soothing, a steady, calming sound that seems to blend with the gentle hum of the wind. The water, which seems to never end, circulates eternally, unhurriedly, like the idea of the hanging gardens. Here, in the silence of the square, you begin to understand that perhaps true rest comes from accepting the impermanence of everything. Like the flowing water, you realize that tranquility comes not from fixating on what should be or was, but from the freedom to simply be, to exist, without the burden of expectations. Now, without rushing, take a deep breath and feel the fresh air. Imagine that, just like the water from the spring, you can let go of any tension or worries. Each breath calms you, bringing more serenity, more peace. You may not see the gardens, but you are experiencing their essence. The softness of nature that does not need to be mastered or understood, but only felt and appreciated. The story of the hanging gardens, with all its mysteries and uncertainties, offers an invitation to slow down, to stop trying to solve puzzles and simply appreciate what already is, a serene moment, a quiet mind, a gentle breath. You are here now in a safe space where there is nothing but the rhythm of your own being. And if for a moment you allow yourself to imagine this garden in your mind, let it be in its entirety a symbol of peace. Imagine that the plants are like soft light thoughts that spring up in your mind, in no hurry to grow, in no hurry to disappear. They are there for you, just to relax you, just like the water flowing in the spring, which is never in a hurry. The sun is now beginning to set, turning the sky a soft orange, and you, feeling more and more attuned to your surroundings, begin to realize that the desert is not just a place of heat and dry air, but also a place of serenity. The heat that once seemed oppressive now feels welcoming, as if the earth itself is trying to embrace you, comfort you in a language that only silence and space can provide. In every stone you pass, in every shadow that stretches across the city, there is something profound and eternal. And perhaps that is part of what makes the story of the hanging gardens so comforting. The idea that there is a space beyond time, a sense that lost things can be eternally beautiful in our imaginations. As night approaches, the city of Babylon seems to transform. The lights begin to glow softly in the streets, and the sounds of daily life become more distant, as if the environment itself is entering a state of rest. Here, everything slows down, and you slowly allow yourself to slow down too. Each step you take is now slower, lighter. The wind, which has always been present, now seems to caress your skin more gently, almost like a whisper. It is as if the universe itself is asking you to surrender to the moment, without rushing to get somewhere, without the weight of any expectation. The idea of the hanging gardens, even if they don't exist, seems to have materialized within you. It's no longer a construction of stone and earth. Now it's an interior garden, a place of calm that grows from the simple fact of existing. It doesn't matter if you'll never see the gardens, or if they really existed at some point in history. What matters is that they represent something much greater than a physical monument. They are a symbol of peace, of a place where you can get lost without losing your way, where tranquility is more important than any achievement. The water from the fountain you saw in the square still echoes in your mind, and you can almost hear it inside you, softly, as a reminder that relaxation is a natural and ongoing process. A sense of fluidity, like water that is in no hurry to go anywhere. Now takes over you. There is no place you need to be, nothing you need to do. All you need to do now is allow your mind to become even calmer, your breathing to become deeper and slower, and your thoughts to dissolve like drops of water falling on a still surface. When you close your eyes, you feel as if you are floating in a place where distractions do not exist. The desert, Babylon, the hanging gardens, they all disappear, and what remains is a sense of weightlessness. There is no pressure, no urgency. Just you, your breath, and a space of tranquility where nothing can disturb the peace you have found. Perhaps the hanging gardens, if they really existed, were so grand that they needed to be seen with the eyes of the imagination, not with the physical eyes. And perhaps that is exactly what you need right now. A garden that does not depend on being visible to exist, like the serenity that grows in you as your mind warms to the idea of a perfect space where everything is gentle, where everything is natural, where everything flows without haste. Allow yourself to remain in this peaceful state. Take a deep breath. Feel the fresh air moving in and out of your lungs, and allow this sense of ease to spread throughout your body. You don't need to go anywhere. You don't need to do anything. You just need to be. And so, as the night progresses and the sky darkens, you allow yourself to be in the gentleness of this moment, knowing that no matter where you are or where you came from, right now, you are exactly where you need to be. The darkness of the night now completely envelops Babylon, and you find yourself in an even deeper state of serenity, as if the sky has stretched out over your entire being. The silence of the night seems to be an invitation, a promise of rest and renewal. As the soft lights of the city continue to shine, in the distance, the feeling of being totally immersed in this scenery, almost as if you were part of it, takes hold of you. The buildings around you, with their majestic lines, are no longer just ruins of an ancient civilization. They are now part of your own inner space. Babylon is no longer just a city distant in time, but a memory, a feeling that you carry with you, like a tranquil peace that needs no explanation. You can still hear the distant sound of water, that gentle murmur that seemed almost dreamlike in the square. But now, instead of looking outward, you begin to look inward. You realize that although the hanging gardens may be a nebulous idea, their true essence does not need a physical location to exist. The gardens are, in fact, a state of being. They are the moments when you allow yourself to breathe calmly, where time loses its weight, and you are simply present, without the need for justifications, answers, or plans. They are the moments of peace that happen when you let go and allow tranquility to take over. The evening air brings a lightness that begins to envelop your thoughts. Each breath you take becomes deeper, softer, more in sync with your surroundings. As you focus on this process, you realize that, like water in a spring, your thoughts can flow freely, effortlessly, unhurriedly. There is no need to control them or hold them back. Just let them flow as they should, like a calm current flowing into the sea. In this peaceful state, you begin to wonder, could this not be the true value of the hanging gardens? Were they not a quest for grandeur, but rather a quest for simplicity? The beauty of the gardens lay perhaps in the idea that everything can be found or lost in the natural flow of things. By allowing yourself to surrender to serenity, without rushing to find something tangible, you come closer to what the gardens truly represented. A space to step away from complexity and lose yourself in tranquility. Now, you are ready to let your mind and body rest. You feel as if you are floating gently without rushing, without needing to get anywhere. Each breath calms you, comforts you. The serenity of the hanging gardens, or what is left of them, is now an invitation to you, an invitation to let it all go. There is no longer any need to cling to the past or try to understand what will never be fully revealed. Here and now, the only garden that matters is the one you find within yourself. The night is still, but the universe around you seems to be full of silent promises of rest, of renewal, of acceptance. And as you allow yourself to be fully present in this moment, you begin to understand that, like gardens, tranquility depends not on a physical place, but on a state of mind. You are creating your own space of peace, your own inner garden. And it is, in fact, grander than any monument. Now allow yourself to sink deeper into this state, where mind and body become one. You no longer need to worry about maintaining control. You no longer need to do anything. Just breathe and allow the rhythm of your breath to guide you into a deep, restful rest. And as you do so, know that the hanging gardens, whether real or not, will always be with you. A gentle reminder that true beauty lies in letting yourself be, unhurriedly, effortlessly. The night is now completely shrouded in silence, and you, in a state of tranquility, allow yourself to continue surrendering to the gentle rhythm of your breathing. The fresh air coming from the desert, mixed with the distant sounds of Babylon, seems to create a melody of its own, a serene symphony that flows gently around you. Your every exhale is a reminder that you don't have to do anything. You simply exist. And in existing, you feel like you are part of something greater, vaster than anything the eye can see. As darkness fills the sky, you feel that the city is no longer a distant place in time, but a welcoming refuge. Babylon, with its ancient walls, is now a natural extension of your own inner peace. The ancient desert surrounding the city is no longer an inhospitable expanse, but a space of calm, where the wind gently passes by, and the only need is to allow yourself to rest. You begin to realize that when you think about the hanging gardens, there is no need to fully understand them. They do not need to be visible to be meaningful. The idea of hanging gardens with their lush flowers and still waters now resonates within you in a different way. Instead of a physical place, the gardens become a metaphor for the stillness you are creating within yourself. Perhaps the true power of the gardens is the simple fact that they are suspended, that they are beyond any physical or temporal limits. They are the pure expression of a space where time has no hold, where the natural rhythm of everything is followed without haste. Here, in the silence of the night, you find your own version of these gardens. No matter how much you have striven to understand or achieve something great, all that truly matters is the space of peace you are creating for yourself. The steady flow of water in the fountain in the square is now reflected in your mind, flowing smoothly, unhindered, effortlessly. Just like water, your thoughts and feelings move at a steady pace in no hurry to get anywhere. You begin to understand that the true beauty of the hanging gardens was not in their grandeur, but in their simplicity. There was nothing exceptional or excessive there, just what was needed to create a place of tranquility. This is the lesson you can take with you. With each breath, you feel the purity of the water flowing through your mind, the lightness of the wind caressing your skin. There is no place you need to be, no rush to do anything, just be. Just be present. Now the sense of peace deepens even more, as if the very space around you has softened, stretched out to embrace you in a way that can only be described as perfect. The silence becomes denser, more enveloping, like a peaceful embrace that envelops you completely. There is no longer any need to seek or search, because you have already found what you need. Peace is not something you achieve, but something you allow to grow within you. As you gaze out into the night, you realize that the hanging gardens may never have existed in the traditional sense, but their essence now lives within you. They are suspended in time in your mind, in your ability to find calm even in chaos. And you, like the garden itself, are now free-flowing. There is nothing left to do but continue to be, to follow the natural rhythm of your body, your mind, your spirit. Take another deep breath and feel the serenity expand throughout your being. There is nothing more important than this moment. Here, where everything is suspended in time, you are part of the garden, and the garden is part of you. The night continues its quiet, uninterrupted march, and you, now deeply relaxed, begin to surrender completely to the process. The desert surrounding Babylon, with its profound silence and the calm that envelops you, seems to have infiltrated your being. Every little sound, the whisper of the wind, the distant call of a nightbird, serves to remind you that you are exactly where you are supposed to be. There is no longer any need to do or to understand. There is only the here and now, and you allow yourself to simply be. You feel your body relaxed, without tension, your muscles slowing down as your thoughts, like leaves in the wind, fall gently, without haste, without effort. This state of tranquility begins to spread, not only through your mind but also through your heart. A gentle feeling of contentment invades your chest, and for a moment you feel completely at peace with everything around you. The idea of the hanging gardens, which before seemed distant and incomplete, now takes on a new form. Perhaps what you were really looking for was not the perfect place, but the feeling of being in a place where you could rest completely, without worries, without urgencies. This place is now real, and it is inside you. You begin to understand in a deep and silent way that the beauty of the gardens was not in their physical construction, nor in the exotic plants that supposedly adorned the space. True beauty was in the act of allowing yourself to rest, of surrendering to the flow of life without trying to control or understand every detail. Like the waters of the river that flow through the city, the hanging gardens were, in fact, an expression of the movement of life itself, gentle, constant, and at the same time, tranquil. Inside, you can now see the gardens differently, no longer as a physical space, but as a haven of the mind, a place where time is unhurried and where peace is the only constant. They now exist in your perception, in your own inner space, as a reminder that you can indeed find serenity wherever you are, even in the simplest, quietest moments of life. Like the desert itself, the hanging gardens were an expression of resistance to the rush, the frenetic pace of modern life. They represented a space where everything could be left behind, where calm and beauty were possible even in the most arid circumstances. Now you feel that this space of tranquility, this garden, is yours to care for and preserve. It does not depend on a distant place or an ancient civilization to exist. It is here with you in your mind, in your ability to simply be. The fresh night air and the silence around you are the perfect elements to cultivate this feeling, to allow it to grow and spread, taking over every thought, every sensation. Perhaps as you reflect on the hanging gardens, you have realized that the real question was never about the physical existence of a place, but about the search for something that transcends space and time, something that exists in the simplicity of being. And now, as you surrender completely to the present moment, you realize that this search is no longer necessary. What you were looking for is, in fact, already within you. The peace you feel now is something that is constantly expanding, a sense of well-being that grows with every breath you take, with every beat of your heart. You can almost visualize the garden within you, with its calm flowers and still waters. It is perfect not because it is visible or tangible, but because it is a reflection of your ability to surrender to rest, to allow yourself to be who you truly are, without rushing, without pressure. Now, as the silence of the night deepens even further, you allow yourself to remain in this space of peace. Let your mind continue to quiet. Let your thoughts continue to flow uninterrupted. There is no need for anything else at this moment. Just the quiet flow of your breath, the gentle rhythm of your existence is all you need. The silence continues to deepen, almost palpable, and you feel that you are moving beyond a simple physical rest. You are entering a deeper, more serene space, where the mind and body are perfectly in tune. The weight of the day melts away completely, as if you are melting into the stillness of the night, and there is nothing left to do but go with the flow of this calm and serene moment. As the light desert breeze touches your skin, you feel as if, for a moment, time no longer has control over you. It becomes just a distant memory, an abstraction that dissolves with each breath. Like the ancient civilizations that inhabited Babylon, you too feel as if you are being carried along by something older and more enduring than any physical structure. It doesn't matter what has been lost or what may have been forgotten. What matters now is what you have within you. A space of tranquility where you can rest free from all worries. This feeling of being free from the weight of time and space is deeply comforting. There is no need to seek more, to reach for more. The garden you have created within yourself needs nothing more. It is complete in the simplest way possible. It does not require you to understand it or to have it in a specific way. It is perfect, in its imperfection, just like the stillness you are feeling right now. That is all you really need, to be present, to breathe gently, and to allow rest to come to you naturally, without rushing. The images of the hanging gardens, once so mysterious and grandiose, now become a gentle vision. It doesn't matter whether they actually existed or were just a dream of grandeur. What matters is what they represent, a space where you can retreat from the outside world and find your own haven of peace. Perhaps the true lesson of the gardens lies not in their physical appearance, but in the idea of a space dedicated exclusively to rest, to the rejuvenation of mind and body. A space where the chaos of the outside world cannot penetrate, where time slows down and you can simply be. The water flowing in the fountains of Babylon, the same water that you felt touching your senses, is now a metaphor for the peaceful flow that you find within yourself. There is no need to control your thoughts, no need to force anything. They flow naturally, just like water, and you observe them with a sense of acceptance and serenity. Each breath becomes deeper, more relaxing. As you surrender to this flow, you can almost feel the plants of a gentle garden spreading around you, even though they are not visible to your eyes. They are made of tranquility and acceptance, and you become part of them. There is no longer any distinction between you and the space around you. You are the garden, and the garden is you. The passing wind, the soft song of the night, the lightness of the atmosphere, everything blends into one serene flow. There is nothing else you need to do but simply be here. The idea that something as grand and complex as the Hanging Gardens could be an expression of something simple and intimate begins to make sense. As you surrender to this moment, you realize that everything you truly need is already within you. You don't need a distant place or a monument lost in time to find serenity. Tranquility actually lies in your own ability to disconnect from the demands of the world and allow peace to take hold of you. Right now, you are creating your own space of rest without rushing, without needing to be or do anything else. This is the real garden, a garden that exists within you and is accessible at any time in any place. And as you allow yourself to flow gently into this space, you feel that you are in tune with something much greater, much older, and more enduring than anything physical. Now, as the night continues its slow, uninterrupted journey, you feel your mind becoming a mirror of the stillness around you. Time, which once seemed like something to be measured and controlled, has dissolved into a timeless sensation. It is as if you are floating in a space where the movement of life continues, but you are no longer part of the rush. You, like the Hanging Gardens, have no need to be somewhere specific or to accomplish a specific goal. You simply are, and that is more than enough. Perhaps at this very moment, you finally understand what the Hanging Gardens represented. They were not just an architectural marvel or an attempt to defy gravity. They symbolized something much deeper. They were a reminder that there is beauty in the suspension of time, in the creation of spaces where natural laws are softened, where anxiety cannot enter, and where human beings can find peace. These gardens, real or not, were perhaps the reflection of a deep desire for rest and tranquility, to create a space where the movement of life could slow down for a moment, and so you begin to feel more at ease in this space. The tranquility you now experience is a reflection of your own ability to rest. You begin to understand that the Hanging Gardens never had to be physical, concrete. They existed, and still exist, where you carry them within you. The sense of peace you are experiencing is your creation, your ability to slow down and allow your mind and body to find harmony. It no longer matters what has been lost to time. What matters is what you have now, this moment. Perhaps you remember how the hustle and bustle of the day and the worry about the future already seem so far away. The frenetic pace of hours and commitments seems irrelevant here, in the space where you now find yourself. There is no longer a timeline that you need to fit into. You are already where you are meant to be, in the center of your own peace. Now the silence is deeper. With each breath, you feel more connected to the present. There is something deeply restorative about this simple moment of just being. You don't have to do anything. There is nothing that needs to be achieved or understood right now. This is the true state of rest. Not the physical rest, but the rest that comes when you let go of thoughts, of worries, and simply be. In this silence, you realize that the garden you carry within you is vast. It extends beyond what you can see or touch. Your mind, once cluttered with things to do, is now a free field, a space where you can grow and flourish without haste. Like the water that flows calmly through the fountains of Babylon, you too can flow freely, without resistance, without pressure. Remember, there is no need to understand or solve anything anymore. You are part of this peaceful, unhurried garden. The beauty of being here is simply being here, and that is enough. You, like the gardens, are a space of calm and serenity, a place where time has no dominion, and you can lose yourself in this space, knowing that all you need is a moment like this, a moment of peace. You begin to feel a sense of gratitude for this moment, for this peaceful and profound journey you are on right now. Each breath becomes softer, slower, and the stillness deepens, almost as if it expands in waves, touching every corner of your mind and body. There is nothing more to do or achieve. You are the garden. You are the flowing water. You are the peace. Now, as the silence continues, you may begin to notice that your body and mind are surrendering completely. The garden of your mind is in full bloom. It doesn't matter what happens tomorrow or what has been left behind. What matters now is the peace you have found within yourself, and that is all you need. The tranquility you feel now is more than just a momentary sensation. It is a gentle presence that settles in slowly, like the warm breeze of a summer day. This breeze is unhurried. It flows gently, running over your skin, and you feel part of it. There is no rush, no need to move. Time, like the leaves of the trees swaying in the wind, passes almost imperceptibly, and you allow yourself to follow its flow with the same gentleness. As your surroundings seem to sink into the serenity of the evening, you allow yourself to finally sink into this peaceful space. There is nothing else that needs to be done. Worries and responsibilities fall away, as if you are moving away from a distant horizon, and all that remains is this moment, calm, serene, unhurried. You realize that, contrary to what you thought, you don't need anything else. There's nothing wrong with silence. On the contrary, it seems to be the only place where you can truly find peace. Your mind, once full of things to do, is now in a state of lightness. Thoughts come and go like passing clouds in the sky, leaving no trace, never settling in. They no longer have power over you. It seems a little ironic, doesn't it? How something as simple as rest and stillness can be so hard to achieve in the hectic, everyday world. But now you realize that perhaps the real difficulty is allowing yourself that rest, allowing yourself to be still without the pressure to produce, without the pressure to always be doing something. And this moment, this space, is all you really need. Now you know that you can return to it whenever you want, simply by allowing yourself to be present. There is nothing left to understand, nothing left to seek. All that exists now is the pleasure of being. It's as if the hanging gardens, real or not, represent the very essence of rest. They didn't have to be a grandiose building or an imposing feat. They simply had to be a space where you could let go of your worries and find peace. And as you reflect on this, you realize that this space is within you. You carry this garden in your mind, and you can visit it whenever you need. This space is vast and welcoming, always at your disposal, ready to welcome you with tranquility. With each breath, you feel a deeper connection to this inner garden. Like the water of ancient springs that flows gently, you too flow with the natural rhythm of peace. There is no need to rush, no need to act. You can simply be, and that is enough. And like water that never hurries but always finds its way, you too find your way to calm. You know that this place of rest needs nothing more. It is already perfect. There is no need to shape it or change it. It is there simply to be. And as you continue in this space of serenity, you realize that, contrary to what everyday life might suggest, there is no need to earn peace. Peace is already here, available, and you just have to allow yourself to be a part of it. This silence, which is so deep now, is not empty. It is filled with everything you need: softness, rest, acceptance. And as you continue to flow gently, you feel yourself surrendering completely to this experience. There is no need to worry anymore. You are exactly where you are meant to be, and there is nothing that needs to be different. You are part of this garden, just as the garden is part of you. There is no rush. There are no demands, just the quiet presence of being. You feel a deep gratitude for this moment of peace, for this pause in the fast pace of the world. And for a brief moment, the world outside doesn't matter. What matters is this space, this moment, this rest. And you allow yourself finally to be completely enveloped by serenity. Now, in the gentle fading of time, you allow yourself to sink deeper into this state of calm. The stillness around you, like a soft blanket, stretches out, enveloping you in such a comforting way that it seems impossible to remember anything that happened before. The silence, which at first might have been a disconcerting novelty, is now your friend, your ally in the process of slowing down. Each breath you take is like a gesture of trust. You trust that no matter how hard it is to stop and rest, you can surrender to this moment. And as you do, you discover that rest is effortless. It simply happens when you allow yourself to be a part of it. With each exhale, you let go a little more. Sometimes the real difficulty is not in finding peace, but in simply allowing it to envelop us without resistance. And you realize that by accepting this moment of stillness, you don't need to seek anything beyond it. The garden you carry within you is in full bloom right now. There is no need to rush, no need to do anything else. You have already reached the point where you can be completely yourself, without external or internal pressures. The outside world, with its demands and pressures, no longer has power over you. You are safe here, in this space of deep, serene rest. The hanging gardens of Babylon, which have so fascinated generations, were in some ways a reflection of what you are experiencing now. They didn't need to be seen or understood by everyone. What mattered was what they represented: a refuge from the chaos, a place where beauty and serenity could flourish even in the midst of hustle and bustle. And just like these gardens, you find refuge in silence. You create your own space of calm, a space that perhaps only you can truly understand and appreciate. This space, this moment, is beyond rational understanding. Sometimes, the most valuable. Things don't need to be explained or justified. They just need to be felt. And you feel it now, the peace, the stillness, the softness of being in the present. There is nothing more to do, nothing more to achieve. You are already where you need to be. This is your moment, and that is enough. The mind, once full of thoughts, is now almost in a state of gentle emptiness. And this emptiness is not something frightening or uncomfortable, but a natural space of rest. Like a leaf slowly falling to the ground, you feel the gentle rhythm of life moving along unhurriedly. This moment, like the leaf falling from the tree, is perfect in its simplicity. There is no rush, no distress. Time flows smoothly, without pressure or expectations. The garden is now your mind, and in it, the flowers of tranquility are open and vibrant. There is nothing more to seek, just the experience of being here, in this space. You don't need to understand or solve. What matters is simply to be, simply to rest. And with each breath, you feel more at peace, more tranquil, more connected to this space of serenity. Now, when you think of the hanging gardens, you might realize that they have always been more than just a building. They have been a symbol, a reminder that peace and serenity can exist anywhere, even in the midst of chaos. They teach us that rest is a right, a place we can create within ourselves, where there are no pressures, no expectations, just acceptance of the present moment. And so you find your own garden, a place where tranquility can flourish freely. This is your space, your moment, and it is perfect just as it is. There is no need for anything else, just the pleasure of being here, of resting, of being. It doesn't matter what happens tomorrow. Right now, in this very moment, you are exactly where you need to be, As you remain in this state of tranquility, it is as if time has slowed down or perhaps even stopped for a moment. The world around you has become so distant that it seems almost unreal. You are here, breathing softly, and that is all that matters now. The weight of daily worries, the ones that seem so urgent in normal times, are now like scattered clouds on the horizon, light and distant. They no longer touch you, and that brings a sense of immense freedom. You realize how difficult it may have been for so long to allow yourself to rest completely, as if there was always something else to do, something to draw your attention to, something to press on your mind. But now, in this very moment, you discover that rest doesn't require permission. It simply happens when you allow yourself to be. And what you are experiencing now is the truth of that freedom. There is nothing else to do but relax and surrender to this gift. You are completely immersed in stillness, and that is, in a way, a quiet achievement. Perhaps like the hanging gardens, the things that are truly worth seeing are not seen right away. They are perhaps most visible when we take the time to really look and feel. The wonders of the world at their core are often not grand or impressive at first glance. They are in the subtle, the quiet, the small, and here now you find that wonder. A moment of calm and stillness that, as simple as it may seem, is immeasurable in its importance. This silence is like a silent masterpiece, only it is happening inside you. In this state of serenity, you may be surprised at how gently your mind begins to let go of what it has held onto for so long. The little thoughts, the accumulated tensions, the worries, all of this begins to dissolve, as if they were disintegrating at the touch of tranquility. Each breath is an opportunity to release another layer of stress, another worry, another burden that you have been carrying without even realizing it. And as you let go, you will feel lighter, freer. This is not a rushed process. There is no need to rush. The garden does not need to be forced to grow. It grows at its own pace. Every step, every breath, every pause is an important part of this process. And as you breathe deeply, your body will also find its own natural rhythm. There is nothing more to do. The world can wait. And as everything around you remains silent, you realize how peace often comes from simply stopping. It's not about achieving something, but simply being. You can feel the energy in every part of your body slowly relaxing, as if you're sinking into a bed of soft flowers. With each breath, you feel more connected to this inner stillness. And deep down, you know that peace is here all the time, within everyone's reach. It doesn't have to be found, just allowed. This silence, which now fills the space around you, is not empty. It is complete, full of meaning. It is a silence that welcomes, that envelops, that allows you to let go of everything that is not necessary. Each breath, each pause, is an opportunity to renew, to begin again. There is nothing wrong with allowing yourself to be here, in this moment of deep rest. You do not need to justify yourself to anyone. What you are doing now is what your body and mind have always needed. Deep down, you may realize that this rest is not an escape. It is, in fact, a return to the essential. And this essential is not in something grand or complicated. It is in the simple act of being, of existing, of resting. And by allowing yourself this, you create your own refuge, your own hanging garden, where peace blooms freely. Now you allow yourself to relax even more. No rush, no pressure, just the tranquility of the present. And in this moment, everything is in its place. Nothing is missing. The rest you are experiencing is what you have always been looking for, even if you didn't know it. As silence fills the space around you, you begin to realize that you no longer need to worry about finding answers or searching for something outside of yourself. What you need is already here in this moment of rest. There is nothing more that needs to be done. There is no rush. What you are experiencing is a pause, a necessary interval that has been neglected for so long. You are perfectly capable of being here now with no rush to leave. You begin to realize how sometimes true rest is not in an active or agitated state, but in the complete absence of movement, in the totality of inactivity. Sometimes you don't need to seek a destination, a goal. Rest alone is enough. The inner garden you have built along this journey is blooming brighter with each breath. And perhaps, like the hanging gardens of Babylon, the true beauty of your rest is not apparent to everyone around you. Only you know how much this pause, this moment of silence is worth. As you breathe deeper and feel your body loosening up, your mind also lets go of the last vestiges of worry. This is the point of deep relaxation. There is nothing left to do, no one to please. You are exactly where you need to be. You are safe. Time has slowed down, but the serenity you have now found is timeless. At some point you may have wondered what it would be like to have a place of your own, a space where all you have to do is exist. Well, that place is here. It's not some distant point. It's not somewhere in the future. It's here right now, in every breath you take, in every quiet pause you allow. You have created your own space, your own haven. And in this haven, you are enough. There is no need to justify yourself, no expectations to live up to. And perhaps deep down you realize that this is all you ever needed. Not a place to go, but a state of being. This state requires no effort, no planning. It is simply what happens when you stop and allow peace and rest to settle in. Like the ancient hanging gardens that once rose majestically, this garden of tranquility within you is silent yet profound in its power. With every breath, it expands. With every moment, it blooms. In this serene space, all you need to do is be. You don't need to strive, you don't need to seek anything else. You are simply here in this very moment, immersed in this state of deep calm, and that in itself is enough. There is nothing more important right now. There is nothing more to seek. And as you continue in this state of deep relaxation, you realize how easy it is to get lost in this moment of peace. Your mind, once full of distractions, is now in a state of ease. Every thought, every emotion flows smoothly without rushing. The weight of worries is no longer there. All that matters now is the peace you are creating, this serene space within yourself. And that is more than enough, more than enough. Now at the end of this peaceful journey, you find yourself in a state of profound peace. There is no rush, no anxiety, no expectations, just you and the silence that fills the entire space around you. Your breathing, becoming softer and softer, is like the beat of a distant drum, slow and relaxing. The softness of your body, the light weight of your eyelids, all this indicates that rest has already set in. There is nothing left to do but follow this serene flow. Throughout this journey, you have built your own garden of tranquility, a space that is exclusively yours, and now you understand that this space does not require special care or great effort. It simply exists, just like you, naturally and simply. Sometimes, the deepest moments of rest require nothing more than complete surrender. And that is what you did. You surrendered yourself to serenity without resistance, allowing calm to take over you completely. As your body becomes more and more relaxed, you realize that you no longer need to control anything. The natural flow of your breathing and the beating of your heart have become a gentle music, a silent symphony. The rest of the world, with its worries and obligations, no longer weighs on you. And when you understand this, you realize that you have found true peace. It is not a peace that depends on the external environment, but an inner peace, accessible whenever you need it. Now, as you reach this point, you realize that your journey is not a search for something distant, but a return to what has always been present within you. What you need, you already have. Peace, serenity, rest, all of these elements are within you. You just needed to allow them to manifest. And in doing so, you discover that the present moment is the only place where true calm can be found. You are now completely immersed in this state of peace. Your body is relaxed, your mind is calm, and your thoughts flow slowly without haste. This moment of rest has become a part of you. There is no need for anything else. There is nothing that needs to be achieved or accomplished. What matters is that you are here in this moment of serenity, and that is enough. Now, as you prepare to continue your rest, know that you can return to this state whenever you need it. Rest is not a place you need to seek. It is always available, always within you, waiting to be accessed. Anytime you need calm, tranquility, just close your eyes and remember this moment. As you remain immersed in this state of serenity, know that all will be well. You have created a space of peace, a haven where calm and rest can always flourish. There is no rush to leave, no need to move. Everything is at its own pace, and you can simply rest. Now it's time to let your body and mind rest completely, surrendering to the gentle and refreshing sleep that is approaching. The tranquility you have experienced will now be with you, making each breath even deeper and more relaxing. I wish you a peaceful and restful night. Sleep well, and remember, whenever you need a moment of calm, you can come back here to allow yourself to rest again.